How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Tuesday, October 2nd, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are doing great. It's good to be here with all of you. I just want to let you know that my website, alexskylesastrology.com, is now live. Of course, I've been working on this since January to get this up, and now the past 2 months, which I've been a little absent here, trying to get this going, and Ian, the intern, has helped me get this ready to go. And I wanted to get it out by the eclipse. Of course, today is the wonderful eclipse. So if you go to Alex Skyles Astrology, there's going to be so much badass astrology that's going to be coming your way. Things I'm not going to share on YouTube, exclusive stuff, friends, guests, community, sharing, all that good stuff. It's been pretty intense to get it going, and I'm super excited to actually have a place where I can just put out things that I want to put out, not under the guise of the limitations of Instagram or YouTube or whatever. You know, my Instagram's been flagged, my YouTube got flagged. So that's live, and I'm super fucking stoked. And here we are on these last set of eclipses for the Aries North Node nodal axis transit. So we got to look back to April and see how far we've come, because Mercury just crossed the sun yesterday with its Cazimi. And we got to remember, back in April, in the last Aries Libra eclipses, Mercury was retrograding in Aries. And we had a Sun-Mercury Cazimi with the North Node and with Chiron. Relationships, our self, our identity has been at the forefront since last July. July 17th? July 23rd? Was when the nodes changed into Libra and Aries. So the karmic cycles that have been playing out have been connected to the relationship issues that we've been stuck in with the South Node, and the loss of identity and the lack of identity, and the regeneration and healing of our self-identity with North Node in Aries and Chiron in Aries with the North Node and these eclipses. So that's what's playing out here. We have to look at April and last October and November of how far we've come and what we've come through to really understand what these eclipses are trying to guide us towards, and where this karmic path is opening up, because this is the last set here. And yesterday, right before this eclipse, we had Mercury and the Sun conjunct, and I felt this so deeply yesterday that, you know, with Mercury being so close to the Sun, it's the closest planet to the Sun, it moves around the Sun. It's the Sun's homie, right? Mercury has got the Sun's back. Mercury's job is to get the message out to the rest of the freaking, our neighbors here, right? To Venus, to Earth, to Mars, to Jupiter, to Saturn. You know, this is Mercury's job. And when it meets with the Sun can deliver us that message with Mercury. And really, it's like yesterday, getting so many things cleared up and really coming to a lot of there was multiple situations that I was experiencing yesterday with multiple different people and multiple different relationships with all different scenarios and purpose of really like getting things worked out, having conversations, you know, using our best judgment to make decisions and being diplomatic, which is what Libra teaches us. That's what it's all about, you know. And of course, Aries is like, you know, this is what the North Node in Aries is also going through. Now with the Sun in Libra, it's like, hey, you know, we've had this regeneration of our identity with this North Node and these eclipses with Chiron, and it's like, you know, we've gone through these lessons. Now the lesson is like, how can we take that and, you know, apply that to all the relationships that really are at the foundation of our life? Because, you know, our lives are nothing without the other people in our lives helping us get to where we need to go, reflecting back the things we need to be reflected back to, you know, the things we don't see about ourselves, right? So that's what the moon is. It's a reflector. That's what this eclipse is all about. And this is a new cycle beginning, and of course an old cycle ending. And what I really feel like this is that the message is clear. With Mercury and the Sun conjunction, Cazimi yesterday, you know, things really seem to be getting worked out in a positive way. You know, and I think with a lot of the intensity and the darkness that's going on in the world with Pluto and Capricorn and what the fuck we're going through, it seems to be dark, but it's not. It's just a level of intensity and a frequency that we haven't felt in 248 years with Pluto here. Of course, Mars is in Cancer. It's going to have its Pluto opposition. So, I think when it comes to these cardinal signs, we've gotten a very good picture of what the whole drawing board is from really all four corners of the directionality of our self, our where we need to be and where we need to root ourselves, right? The relationships we need to be that we have to engage with to navigate through life, and of course the structure that we've been building since 2008. That's coming to a close with this eclipse. We can all feel it, that this is such a dramatic moment of, some people call it a pole shift, right? It's like some people call it a collective awakening. It's just like, this is a resurgence. It's almost like a remembering. It seems that's what it seems like. You look across the board. It's like there's a remembering of this self, of this is who I am, and it's like, oh, these are the people that really matter in my life, and I need to have a better relationship with myself, to have a better relationship with my friends, my family, my children, my colleagues, my coworkers, right? So it's like these karmic cycles that have been playing out. Okay, we can look back to Saturn in Libra here as well in 2009 and 10, where we had, the North Node passing through Capricorn at that time. So we had North Node in Capricorn coming into Sagittarius, which came into Scorpio. It's like, if we look at these karmic cycles that have been playing out, in Saturn in Libra, 2005, Saturn in Libra, 2015 with the North Node in Libra. It's like, how far can we really push ourselves? What's the limitations of our actual physical awareness? I think Chiron has been trying to teach us that. And now, being 6 months from the last set of eclipses, and being so far out from February when we had that Chiron North Node conjunction, it's like, okay, we've had all this time to focus on ourselves, to focus on our self-healing, to focus on the self-worth that needs to be regenerated, the wounds that come from relationships, the generational traumas. Of course, with Pluto Capricorn, we're talking generational traumas. It's like, this has been a massive moment of repair, and also regaining that sense of confidence. And with Mars slowing down, it may not feel that way. Of course, with Mars in Cancer, it may not feel that way, but this is more mental. This is more of a mental time. Of course, at the beginning of the year, we had Mars at full speed. We had the North Node and the eclipses in Aries with the sun. Now we're on the other end of it. It's like we're coming outside of ourselves. We're looking outside of ourselves a lot more. And we're really piecing together a lot of the trail that we've left. And it's really easy with the North Node in Aries to just blaze ahead. And it's like, this is my destiny. This is my purpose. But along the way, you leave trails. You leave breadcrumbs. You leave footprints. You leave a mess, right? That's Aries. It's just the raging, freaking uncontrollable, just, I gotta go now, and I gotta go fast. So these eclipses is a massive separation and a severance from what we've gone through for the first 2.5 quarters of this year. I guess we're in the third quarter of this year of 2024. So the first 3 quarters of the year, it's like it really has been a big focus of self. Now with these eclipses, it's kind of shifting us out of like, okay, we've gone through this regeneration of the self, this regaining regenerating a relationship with the self. It's like with this eclipse, I think over the next 15 days, as we go to the full moon in Aries lunar eclipse, there's going to be a lot of conversation that's going to pop up within the people that really matter in our lives, and there has to be a lot of things that need to be worked out. And I really felt that way during the dark moon. Is that it? Really, yesterday, it was like all of a sudden, all different people that I engage with on a daily basis, a lot of issues and a lot of things that weren't fully clear or weren't understood yet. It's like yesterday when the sun and Mercury came together right before this eclipse on the balsamic moon. It's like all of these conversations started to work themselves out. So really think about that when coming into this eclipse today. The eclipse is going to be here around 11:40 a.m. On the West Coast. Think about that. Think about all the conversations that were had yesterday. This is what we're taking into this eclipse. A lot of what we're letting go of in relationships. And how we, as individuals, being the North Node in Aries, behave in relationships. Also, where we kind of go too far and leave people behind, right? But also on the other end of it, and this was more of the focus during the April eclipses, was what relationship baggage have I lost my identity in, right? What relationship baggage am I just carrying that's weighing me down, that's not allowing me to be that Aries North Node self and to fulfill that karmic destiny and that purpose that this Aries North Node is trying to carry us on to rediscover that identity. And that's the thing with the North Node and Aries. It's like rediscovering that identity. Going through the beginning of the year with the eclipses and the North Node and Chiron, it's more of awakening to that whatever has been going on outside of us, Pluto, Capricorn, right? The system that is beyond our control, Saturn, Capricorn, how that has affected our identity, and that was triggered when the nodes moved into Aries in Libra last July. Because the moment that happened, that was the new moon in Cancer and the Sun-Pluto opposition right before that. And then the nodes shifted and squared Pluto. So that was the triggering of the identity crisis that has disabled relationships, has been, harmful to real, solid, genuine connection, that has thrown things completely off balance of what is the balance of this world that we live. It's like what actually brings balance, what creates balance. So that's what the last eclipses, that's what they were all about. Is really analyzing like, holy shit, like we are going through a collective identity crisis, right? And that was triggered when the nodes came into Aries and Libra. And it's these eclipses with the North Node and Chiron that has been karmically pulling us into situations to awaken us and to let go of things that are not serving us in relationships with the South Node in Libra. That's allowing us to get closer to that identity. Once the North Node comes into Pisces in January, it's going to be a whole nother karmic journey. And this is the last set of Aries Libra eclipses that we're going to see for the next 8 years. And we won't see the North Node in Aries for the next 18 and a half, 19 years. So when you're 19, you have your North Node return. When you're 27, you have your nodal flip. When you're 37, 38, you have your next North Node return, and so on. Every 8.5 years, you have your nodal flip. Every 19 years, you have your North Node return. So, if you have North Node in Aries or North Node in Libra, or if you have those, or if you have your nodes in cardinal signs, this is very, very potent. This is very, very potent for you. And this is really about the direction you're taking, the identity that you're cultivating, in the relationships that you're cultivating, and how you as yourself and your confident Aries self is being able to coexist with others and bring balance to your own life and to other people's lives. And, to bring awareness and reflection, and actually have open discussion and discourse, and of course that's been another question in the collective is, to be able to bring balance, to have open communication and, be fair about things. This is what Libra is all about. So with Mercury in Libra, it's like, wherever you're at wherever Mercury's hitting in your chart, either you are speaking justice or You are awakening to justice mentally, or you are bringing balance, or awakening to balance. Maybe you're the speaker of the messenger of balance right now. I think that's what we need to be really speaking out loud. We need to bring more balance. Things are so out of balance right now, collectively, and it's with Mars, the sun getting ready for its square to Mars here. It's like, there's a lot of confusion of which direction we should go. It's like, man, am I supposed to be in this relationship? Am I supposed to let this go? There's a lot of conversation here. And when the Mars squares the sun here later this week, after this eclipse, that's when the challenge is going to be really presented. And there is a challenge later this week after this eclipse with Mercury squaring Mars, the sun, which will square Mars, the moon will square Mars later today after the eclipse, going into the evening. So it's like we have to be diplomatic. We have to find solutions. We have to work together. We have to bring balance. We can't be fully in this Mars in Cancer. It just fall into this woe is me and just check out and, put up your shell and just want to hide because you can't deal with the world, or you can't deal with having real conversations, or, deal with, just setting the emotions aside and finding a logical diplomatic solution. Mars in Cancer does not like to do that. Mercury likes to be in Libra. Mars does not like to be in Cancer. So Mercury, the sun, and the moon here are all going to be cracking down on Mars later this week as this eclipse develops. And that's what it is. Of course, the eclipse is going to happen here at 11:47 a.m. on the West Coast today. But it is days after, the 15 days after, leading up to the lunar eclipse, the full moon. It's like this is when it all goes down. And by the time you get to the lunar eclipse, this is when we're ending the cycles and really getting that reflective awareness of, okay, the new cycle has started. It's like now what from the past is ending and what are we taking with us towards the future? So it is. This week with this eclipse, it's so important because it's not necessarily a malefic eclipse. This isn't an extreme malefic eclipse. Of course, Mars is here. It's not squaring the eclipse exactly. Mercury and the sun will square Mars later this week, like I said. So, but the good thing is, just to ease up a little bit on this tension with Mars, is that as this Mercury Sun square is developing with Mars, at that same time here later this week, Venus is going to make a nice trine to Mars. While that is happening. So you know what? It really is being willing to go deep and be passionate about what you truly love and express what you truly value, but also like be able to express it in such a passionate way that's actually going to inspire people and not want to, make you go over the top or blow a lid or get challenged or get triggered. It's like the inspiration has to come from an emotional place. The discussion and the debates or the problem solving, of course, Mercury and Libra squaring Mars and Cancer. It's like there's a problem to solve, whether it's an emotional problem with Mars and Cancer that you actually have to use your mind to think about and put the pieces together to understand it in a true, honest, raw way, and in a balanced way, and have a balanced perspective of what the emotional issues are with Mars and Cancer. It's going to be coming up a lot, and the solution here is a deep emotional connection if we can actually communicate in a balanced way. And I think if we can open up this week with this eclipse, that's really beginning this new karmic cycle for all of us with our relationship to ourselves and the relationship to others and our relationship to the world. This is the new moon in Libra eclipse. It's all about relationship. All about relationship. And of course, we have to look at Venus. And Venus is on its way to trine Mars, while the Sun and Mercury is going to put pressure on Mars. So at least there is some emotional understanding and a deeper understanding with this Venus and Scorpio amongst the emotional issues that are going to come up. And this eclipse is going to trigger some emotions big time. When we're looking at the moon, it's like, okay, we have to look at Mars in Cancer because the moon is freaking, it's a reflector, right? It's reflecting back to us no matter what. It's Libra. Libra isn't the most emotional sign in the world, but what the moon in Libra does, it's like it's going to reflect back to you the truth, right? Or reflect back to you like just in the moment. If you know a person who has a moon in Libra, like I love them so much, but as an Aries person myself, it's just like, hey, what do you want to have for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to have? It's like, you got to be decisive. You got to make decisions. This is so important. Moon in Libra, it's very difficult to make decisions with the moon in Libra. It's like, well, like, what do you want? Okay, well, let's find a common ground between, it's like, all right, how long are we going to take to find the solution? So it is. Like Mercury in Libra acts quickly. It acts swiftly. It thinks swiftly, right? Mars in Cancer does not act swiftly. So it's just like Mercury is overthinking and outthinking Mars right now with this eclipse and later this week. So it's like we have to be prepared once these triggers start to pop up later this week, which are healthy. This is super healthy because this is the last set of eclipses. This is where the karmic lessons of the nodes start to play out. And I felt that yesterday with the Mercury Sun Cazimi. I really did. And it felt it did feel healing. It felt raw, and it wasn't difficult to find solutions. It was more of like, finally, there was a doorway to really come together and bring balance and discuss and find solutions. That's what I'm really feeling going into this eclipse. And I'm very curious to see what this is. Of course, like it's October now, and we are going through some of the most intense historical transits of our life that we've ever seen with Pluto. And, this is one hell of a moment to really integrate these Chiron North Node lessons that we've been going through all year with these eclipses. Because once we go into the North Node in Pisces with Saturn, of course that'll be Saturn in Aries, and Neptune in Aries, it's like this is what this North Node is setting us up for. The North Node coming into, or the Neptune coming into Aries, Saturn coming into Aries, this North Node in Aries, and ending these nodal cycles here with these eclipses this October. This is also giving us an insight of what 2025, 2026, Neptune, Saturn coming into Aries, all the outer planets that are shifting signs, all the generational planets are all shifting signs at once in a small amount of time. Pluto, it's going to move into Aquarius for good. Shortly after that, Saturn's going to move into Aries. And of course, Uranus making its amazing move into Gemini. I can't wait for that. Uranus and Gemini is always an expansive time. And of course, with Pluto and Aquarius, which will trine Uranus and Gemini, the second half of this decade is going to be a lot more interesting than what we can perceive right now, because everything seems so doom and gloom. And Pluto, the very last moments of Capricorn, it's like, fuck, this whole system's coming down. Everything's crumbling. People are losing their minds. Everybody's taking sides. It's just like, it ain't going to be this way going into 2025. Once the North Node comes into Pisces, it's like the whole board is going to shift. And of course, we're coming into 2025 with a Mars retrograde. So let's see what we got for this eclipse. We got the Empress card for this eclipse. And of course, this is a Venus ruled card with a Venus ruled eclipse. Wonderful. So it is. It's like, just because it's been difficult to find solutions all year, especially in relationships. And I think too in the North Nodes in Aries and people who have North Node in Aries, it's like, it's not that they're selfish people. It's just they're very self-willed, strong self-will, and, very driven. And it is. It's like, this is a Venus ruled card, but it's like the confidence of knowing the magic that you wield is very, it's not the most common trait you tend to find, right? It's like we're always seeking from other people to give validation. And that's what the South Node has been teaching us. It's like, okay, it's like, no, it's like the Empress card. It's like, I know that I have all that I need. I know that I have the magic that, was given to me by the creator or God or whatever your connection is. It's having that confidence. And the North Node in Aries has been teaching us that, and the karmic lessons that have been coming along with that. But also not falling down into that South Node Libra, where it's like, I don't know, like, well, this person's doing this. It's like, maybe I should do it like them. It's like, no, it's like that Empress card. It's like, I am not afraid to show my gifts. I'm not afraid to show my magic. I'm not afraid to express my heart and my soul and my feelings and my vulnerabilities and my value to the world, to the people that I love and I care about. That's what the Empress card teaches us. So I think that is perfect for a Libra new moon eclipse. So anyway, it's good to be back. I've been working super hard to get the website up, and we're back. So go check out the website. We're just going to keep building it. I'm going to keep sharing cool shit as the weeks go on, and I got cool people who are going to come on. We got some interviews, other astrologers, other astrologer homies, all kinds of good shit. So happy eclipse. Set your intentions for what relationship baggage we're going to release with this last set of Aries Libra eclipses here. And really, this is also looking at how our identity and our relationship to self has evolved, and the healing that's taken place with the Chiron North Node and this nodal transit that has been almost 18 months. We're going on 18 months. So the nodal cycles are 18 months long, and this is the last swing here. So this is when the karmic stuff starts to play out in our physical reality, and I think it's a good thing. That Mercury Cazimi yesterday, definitely the message that I got that came through was like, you know what? We're finding solutions. We're starting to gain headway. There's a better understanding of each other and a bigger, better awareness of each other, and a greater understanding of being able to listen and be patient, right? That North Node in Aries, it's like, it's hard to be patient. It's like, well, I got to get to where I'm going, where I'm supposed to go. Patience is key with Libra, right? With Venus, with the Empress card. It's like, it's about patience. So happy eclipse. Go check out the website, say what's up. I'm going to be posting all kinds of cool shit. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.